Hi, I'm Travis, and this is Handcrafted Overlanding. This is Odin. He's a 2.5-year-old German Shepherd puppy. Yes, he's still a puppy. And he is just the biggest of dorks. One of the things that he has a problem with is flipping his food bowl. So what he'll do is he'll actually eat the food, and he paws at the bowl and knocks it over. I've tried the anti-spill bowls. I've tried a few different things. Tried the slow feeders. Doesn't work. He walks over and paws it and flips it. So right now, the temporary solution is literally a bowl bolted to a piece of plywood. No. No. So today, I'm going to try to build a better food stand for him that he can't flip. So one of the primary criteria is when he paws at it, he can't flip it over. What's that? You get the food? Want to get your food? Okay. Oh. Big butt. Come here, you. Come here, big butt. Oh, come here. So, let's go ahead and get the welder out, get some of the steel out that I bought for this project. We're going to cut it up, and we're going to build a little frame for the bowl to sit down into, and probably going to raise it up a little bit for him. I need to do a little bit more research. I've heard that raised food bowls are better for the dogs, with big dogs, especially for bloat, things like that. Whatever the case may be, probably do a little research. Figure out if I want a tall one or a short one. And at the end of the day, boop, he's gonna be happy. And I'm gonna be happy because all this won't end up on my floor. So, I got tired of Odin flipping up his bowl, so I just kind of made this real quick. It's literally just a piece of wood, both all the way through. It's kind of one of the reasons why this doesn't really work for me is, well, first off, it's just ugly. Secondly, if I didn't have carpet, this would be scratching all over the floor, and that's just not really cool. So, bolt off. Gosh, darn it. So I kind of want to build one of those stands that sit around the bowl like this on all four sides. Something like this. And then I want to put a second piece across right here. I'm a great artist, aren't I? So, the bowl will sit right down in here like this. So the bowl will be right in here, hanging down in. This is going to end up with this, just a little bit higher than this, which turned out to be about 3 inches from the bottom of the bowl. So it'll stand up about an inch higher. So to help keep the bowl centered in here, I want to do angled pieces like so. So probably make those 2 long ones out of 10 inches. I'll come back around to that. So I'm going to say 2x 10 inches. And then the 4x by question mark. Not sure how long those are, but we will figure that out. So I guess it's time to go get the steel, start cutting. So this is what 10 feet of 1-inch flat stock and 16 inches of square stock looks like all chopped up. So these should be all about 4 inches tall. You can see you got a little messed up on the end, but as long as I can make the bottom legs level, I can hide that mess up in the top when I go to weld. We'll see how well that goes. So we got 4 for the top, 4 for the middle, 2 for the bottom of the legs. You might be wondering why I cut 3 additionals. Well, 2 reasons. 1, I had very little stock left out of that 10-footer. And 2, I'm bound to mess up. So that's what it is. The idea, so you can actually start to visualize it. If I can get this to stand. Hold on, I have clamps. I don't need to make it stand. Cue the montage of me struggling with clamps. You get the idea. So the idea is going to be that all the way around the box, and then this is going to come up, I don't know, right about there-ish. You might be asking, well, Travis, why are you doing that? Is that for additional structural stability? No. This is puppy protection, because dear Odin has learned that things, when you get the nose out on them, flip. Do I think that he's going to get his nose under here and flip the bowl? Yes, I do. So, with that being said, that's why I'm putting those in. So, the next step is going to be to build a small little jig to get all this stuff kind of positioned, and then I can start tack welding it into place. That is going to have to be for another day, because it's like 6 o'clock and it's time for dinner. I know Odin wants his bowl back, so I'm going to go give it to him. Thanks so much, and we will see you tomorrow. Okay, so for my least favorite activity, welding. So, what I've done here is I went and screwed down a piece of wood to the tabletop, and the reason why I did that is because the sacrificial board on the top right now is old and full of oil, so yeah, it catches fire easy. I'll show you here in a little bit. What I've done is I cut 2 templates out to hold the legs where I want them, ground them as close to level as possible. So the hope is when I go to tack all this together, those legs hold themselves in place. And then once that's done, go down 1 inch or so and put the second one in. Now, again, these aren't for structure. These are for a doggy who likes to flip the bowl. And then when I'm done with all that, these 2 are just going to get welded on the bottom, like so. So when he goes to try to flip it, the edge is going to catch underneath the couch or the fridge or whatever I end up putting these up against. So, just a word on safety when it comes to welding. It's dangerous, so take proper safety precautions. Wear welding mask and gloves, and yeah, make sure nothing flammable is around. I know that this frame is all wood, and yes, wood does burn, but I'm not going to be applying that much energy into those to really damage them. I mean, they will catch on fire, most likely, so. Alright, let's get to this. Alright, so base design is done for the top at least. Now I'm going to go ahead and weld down the next layer. And again, this is not for structural integrity. This is probably going to be strong enough to hold my truck when I'm done with it. I'm doing this for two reasons. One, these are so the pup can't get his nose underneath here and flip the bowl out of the container because he's a smart dog. And secondly, it's because I'm learning how to weld. I'm trying to teach myself, you need to know this machine better, because after I'm done with this, that project's next. That one right there. The one that's, you know, kind of a shelf right now that's supposed to be a CNC router table, that's next. So, learn here, finish there. That's what we're doing. And you can see some of the welds are okay. They're all ugly. But basically, I'm going to come through here with a floppy wheel and just kind of get all this blended in. Maybe it won't look like crap when I'm done. Well, I do run on the side of the pickup truck, right? Just saying. So, continuing on with welding. All right. Okay. So you can see that bowl would just kind of barely hang on to the edge. I mean, it's not even touching over here. Now, I didn't take into consideration that these would be on the outside of the pegs. So, that's my bad. But that's easy enough to remedy. So what I'm going to do, as I intended all along, is I'm going to take a piece of steel, 4 of them actually, and they're going to come across like so. And they're going to help keep the bowl centered. So what I need to do is identify how long those pieces are, where they need to mate up on the surfaces, and then cut them out, grind them clean, make sure the bevel's alright, if I'm going to bevel them, I don't know. I mean, literally just welding. And then weld them in place, and that will keep the bowl centered. It's going to be high enough off the ground, or it's going to be low enough to the ground where it's not going to be a raised bowl. Research that I've done says that raised bowls is not necessarily good for dogs. So it is what it is. So that's the reason why these are short. That's also the reason why I bought 20 feet of the square tubing, because I was going to make 2 of these, and one's going to be 18 inches high and the other one was going to be 12 inches high. Now I don't need that much. So yeah, get those measurements done and get on going. We'll get those pieces cut. So it's Friday, everybody, and I finally managed to get the corner pieces cut. I also took the liberty to grind a little bit on the inside, clean up the inside welds just a little bit, because when I get these welded in place, they are going to make it a little bit difficult to get in there. So how I came up with these is actually really simple. Is I took this guy and I laid it on a piece of paper, and I drew on the inside. Very scientific. Then I laid the bowl as center as I could get it inside the frame, because the bowl has a lip. The lip comes over the edges. So what I did was I measured in from the frame to the bowl, got its different distance. I want to say it was like 1/4 inch. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember. Actually, you know what? Measure it out right now. 5/8. Anyways. So this was measured an inch up from the lip of the bowl, or an inch down, depending on how you want to look at it. I'm gonna grab the. Alright, I'm not seeing the bowl. So I measured it up. I measured in, marked them out. Found the center point of all these, and I found the center point here. And that's all just drawing. I took a compass, connected the dots. And then what I did was I took these guys, tried to do my best, and I found the distance in that I wanted the edge. So the bowl's still going to move around a little bit on the inside, but these should help provide a little bit of sturdy these should provide an edge for them to sit on. Now cutting these, I could have done more of the 1-inch strap, but I had a lot more of the 1/2-inch tube. And it doesn't really matter. If this were load bearing, I think it would be a different thing. But anyways, all I'm going to do now is basically line these up, clamp them down. You know, I should probably go get one of my other clamps, but we're going to clamp it down and just going to tack it in a couple spots to hold it in place. Again, this isn't load bearing. This is just to hold a bowl of food for a dog. So I'm not too worried about that. I just want to make sure that if I pick it up, I ain't going to snap it because my welds were so bad. After I get this tacked up, we're going to add on the 2 bottom straps. Then grind it all up, then paint it. I chose chrome. I've never done it before. I figured, let's give it a shot. So let me get a better clamp. A couple of these edges still need to get hit. I need to put something on that's gonna, block me from sparks. So yeah, give me a minute for that. You know what? That is really overbuilt for a dog bowl holder, but you know what? German Shepherd. I think I'm going to weld up the feet now. By the way, if anyone ever tells you you have enough clamps, they're wrong. You never have too many clamps. Especially for woodworking. I assume metalworking too, but you know, what do I know? You might have a lot of clamps, but you never have too many clamps. I can actually feel the heat coming off that. It's kind of cool. That is dang shiny, but I'm hoping with this Crystal Clear enamel, it will help it retain its shine and not chip. So let's see what happens. Alright, that so rudely told me it was not going to record, so this is actually bubbling up. Now, I don't know if that's because the coating that I put on is glossy enough, or maybe, more likely, steel is cold. So, after I get this first coat on, I'm going to air out the area. I'm going to put a little bit of warmth next to it in the form of a propane heater. But I don't think there's really too much left to do on this thing. Yeah, I'm not an expert at painting, but maybe some of you could tell me why it's doing that. Is it the cold? Or is it my top coat actually provided a good enough gloss coat for this not to stick to? That's a good question, and I'm not sure. Anyways, we're going to get some air going on this, some heat going on this, and hopefully it doesn't turn out too crappy. Well, here we go. It wasn't as chromy as I was kind of hoping for. It's definitely chromier than I was hoping for, but it's nice, sturdy. It can be really hard for a German Shepherd to flip this. So, lessons learned. 1, I really need to practice my welding a lot more. 2, a lot more. 3, when paint is cold, it will actually start to bubble up, kind of like this. I thought that was splatter, but that's actually the paint. So I should have heated the steel up first a little bit more, but I didn't. Lessons learned. The metallic spray that I used on this, I don't think that I really needed to clear coat it. Still looks kind of good. There's certain spots I can totally tell that it's not great, and I'm not talking about welding, I'm talking about paint. But it's good to know. The metallic paint, I think already had a gloss in it. Got a little bit around there, but I don't think that I needed to hit it with an enamel coat. My idea was the enamel coat would help pop it and lock it so the dog couldn't get, or wouldn't get chipped with the dog. But yeah, you can see there's a lot more of the paint issue down here, in here. That's a little bit more of the welding than it is the paint, but still. So this was definitely a learning experience. And I got something cool out of it. Well, the pup got something cool. I would show him eating out of it, but that's a whole different story on why that dog is a pain in the neck. But now, even if he manages to get it out from underneath it, he shouldn't be able to get it to flip nearly as easily as, yeah. And it looks better than a piece of wood. Anyways, hope you guys had fun. This was a tons of learning experience for me. I'm not good at welding, not good at painting when it comes to cold weather, but cold weather presents its own sort of challenges. You can see that the garage is not insulated, but I'm going to start to learn more because next I'm going to be focusing on the CNC router table. First and foremost is this arm, or this gantry, needs to get redone. So next week, that video, that should be fun. Get back into this project, and hopefully that's going to definitely be a multi-part series. So anyways, hope you had fun with me. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.